Hello everybody, I found a moneymaker that makes a lot of money. It works well in early game, and it only gets better the later you go down the line. So let's get started. Right, to get this moneymaker started, we're going to need 5 ingredients. We're going to need milk, sugar, wheat, egg, and cacao beans. Alright, so starting off, we're going to need 2 villagers, a tiki bar, and a composter. Tiki bars like so, with fire quartz, the 4 palm logs, and 2 palm saplings. And then the composter is just slabs all around. And you can get more villagers from the market. Just scroll all the way down. And right here for 2,000 each, so you'll need at least 4,000 right there. And how you make the market. A chest and then 4 zinc around it. Alrighty, so how we're going to make all our money is using the caking station. How you make it is you need 6 planks, 2 oak resin, and a earth crystal. To get the oak resin, you will need to use a tapper, like so on a oak log or dark oak. It takes 3 days. And how you make the tapper, block of copper, a wooden bucket, 2 fire logs, and an earth crystal. And how you make those is just 6 logs there, and the other one is fairly easy also. But this is the thing that we're going to make a bunch of money with. For instance, just once you have it down, right, hover over it and press U on it. And you can see, the stuff that you can make with it. And for instance, I hover over the cupcake, right? 160 and 22 gem right there, right? But the thing that it isn't showing you is, like for instance, the cookies, it's 4 cookies. The cupcakes, it's 4 cupcakes. So this thing right here, right? The strawberry cupcakes is worth 1,000 gold basically. And if you factor in the, strawberry jam, 42 gold there. Cooking dough here, you do need to use a large milk, but you get 12 of the caking doughs, my bad. So we can make a lot of money with this thing. Next up, we're going to need a cooking pot, which is just 2 bricks, 5 iron ingots, and then an earth crystal in the middle. For the crafting bowl, we're going to need 6 zinc ingots, a bowl in the middle, and 2 earth crystals. For the rolling pin, we're going to need 2 oak slabs and a oak plank in the middle. I'm pretty sure you can substitute those woods. And then we're going to need a bread knife, which is then 2 iron ingots and a plank also in the corner. All right, how it works is you can take your crafting bowl, place it down, and then you just want your milk, your sugar, your wheat, and your egg. And then you just want to right click them in here. And then with an empty hand, just hold your right click down. And after a few seconds, it's done and it just made 12 of the cake dough. And then you just right click to take it out. Alrighty, next up, you're going to want a campfire. This is how you make it. 3 sticks, 1 coal, and then 3 logs. And you want to go to your cooking pot, place it down underneath it. So it is now active. You can see it boiling. And then you're going to want wheat, your cacao beans, and a small milk. And then we're just going to come in here, place those all in there. And then you're going to need a bowl to take this stuff out when it's completed. We'll just take our bowls and then put them in there. And after about 10 seconds, we're going to get 4 chocolate truffles, which is the stuff that we're going to need. Alrighty, next up, we're going to want our large milk, a sugar, and those truffles that we just made. And then we're going to come over here, and then we're going to put in those stuff inside. This is going to be a little bit different. We're going to now need a jar, which we can buy those, and then you just place them in down there. And once that's done, we get ourselves the chocolate spread. Now we'll just make 12 more so they match. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so starting out, what we're going to need now is our 12 dough, our chocolate spread, and our rolling pin, and our bread knife. So what you can do is you can just come to your cake station. If you wanted to, you can right click it and it tell you, place cake dough on top of the cake station to start baking. So I'll turn off the God mode real quick. You just take your cake dough, right click it on top. And now what we're going to want to do is take our bread knife, right click it. So right now, these are cupcakes. We're going to take our rolling pin and we're going to turn them into cookies, okay? And now we're going to take our chocolate spread, right click it, and then on an open hand, right click it once more. And you saw that whole process. I did it pretty slow, but take a guess how much we just made. 4,200, guys. Now, if you go to your levels by pressing K and you go down to farming, you can make 15% more. So going by this, you can get almost, I think, like 5,000 gold for just that process, right? And if you want to be even faster, you can just, that, that, right? And we'll just, quickly do all of them. And just be careful not to put the chocolate spread on top first after. So honestly, we might do something like this where we just go down the line. So, that, and then that. Empty that out. I guess you don't need to be an empty hand. You can just click it again. Alrighty guys, so with just 12 of those down, which didn't take too long, we've made 50,000 already. And once again, if we did put all of that in there, which we have a selling bin here. And if you didn't know, I didn't know this, there's a shipping bin monitor now. So if I were to, take it and then you can see recipes, you can buy it for 64 gold from the banker. And what happens is it tells you the value when the bonuses are applied. So you can see that's worth 51K, but this price right here, it will update into the price that has that 15%. So we just made 58,788, just like that, guys. And yes, you can automate majority of this processes. Actually, if anything, all of them. Okay, first off, let's automate these processes right here. All you'll need is, like how easy it is, guys, is get yourself that refined storage, literally just crafting grid, controller, and some kind of storage thing. It doesn't need a storage block. You can hook it up to your system if that's what you want. You can buy some cables from the storage nuts guy for, I think it's like 64 gold, yeah, each. And then the only things you will actually have to make is the importer and exporter, which importer, you need a hopper and a battery. Exporter, you'll need a pipe and a battery. Or if you have the toms, I guess there is a back port for that. So those are the things you will need. And then also you will need a regulator. And how you make the regulator is you'll need 5 bismuth ingots, 2 redstone dust, a redstone comparator, and a upgrade thing, which is also then 6 bismuth, some glass, and a block of gold. Now, it does take a little bit of stuff, but the premise is still the same. You don't need a blaze burner. Campfire is perfectly fine. But you just attach the cable, make it go, and then on the top block right here, you'll want that regulator. And what that does is you can drag in your ingredients. For instance, if I do oak resin, right? We don't need it. But if I click it, I can set it to 64, and then it will always try to keep 64 inside of here, right? That is how it works. And if you want to, remove this, you just hold shift and then left click. So what's happening is it's depositing 1 milk, 1 truffle, and 1 sugar into here. And it's just maintaining that. And then this back guy right over here, it's depositing in the jars. And then the front guy over here, the importer, it's just taking out. It doesn't need a filter because it's just, it makes the jar and then it sucks it out. And then same thing over here. Top guy, we have wheat. And this time I did 10 just because there is like a little downtime lapse. You could probably set it to like 2, which all you have to do is just minus 10 plus 1 and do it like so. And then same thing in the exporter, you'll want a bowl this time because that's what it's making. And the importer, same thing. And then if you ever want to make more, right, you could just hook up your farms right over here. If you had the mechanical harvester for your cacaos and for your wheat, and you can have these barrels right over here. If they're all attached to a pipe, you can pipe that into your system over there also. And same thing for the cows up top. You can pipe in all this milk into there. This isn't optimal, guys. This is just, again, point of thing where you can just go ahead and right click and do everything manually and make just as much money. And I did forget to mention, you can stick an auto grabber, just like the milk guy up top, and it will automatically collect the large eggs if you get to that point. because once again, the large eggs are just 4 eggs together. Okay, guys, now I was trying to figure out a way to automate the crafting and how far you can go. I tried this setup right here where you'd have the hoppers attached to it and it just throws in the ingredients. But the problem is it overfills, right? So like for instance, I'm going, it'll make it. But when I right click it, it gives me wheat. It doesn't give me the bread. So it could just be because it's overfilling and it's not working like that. But what does work is that same idea where if you have that refined storage, you have yourself an exporter and an importer. You can tell the exporter to, again, regulate, upgrade, put it in just one of each. And then the importer, it's on whitelist mode just for the cake dough. And then when you just hold this down, right click, it will do that and it will take the cake dough out. But the problem is you can't AFK either, right? So like I'm holding down right click, watch this. If I'm keeping holding down the whole time, eventually there's going to be a point where it doesn't let you. You have to physically stop, click, and then do it again. So not really automated. So if you're getting to this point, I recommend just making yourself a mixer setup and doing the exact same thing. The only thing you will have to do is for your basin, if you don't know how to make it, you'll just need 5 andesite alloys. Place that down. You don't need any heat source. And you will want to just take your cake dough and let it know that's what you want. And your importer, same thing, whitelist mode, cake dough. And exporter, again, that sugar, wheat, and egg. And then this setup right here, it's kind of weird. It's a little bit more, I guess, later down the line. But this is my way of doing it because I don't really like create like all like the conveyor belts and whatnot. But you can just take your large milk. And if you didn't know, if you're using cake doughs in a stir, right, the milk is 250. So then one of these buckets right here, the premise is you put it on your item drain, throw it on there, and it drains out 1,000. And so that just gave us 4 instead of 1 milk over there, right? So making a mixer is honestly clearly 4 times better. And you can see it working. And the idea right here, why I have an item pipe taking out from the barrel, is you go into the barrel and it has a magnet. If you ever watched my slime video, same premise, but you just put the large milks in and it just drops it and it just drains the milk right away. And then any like excess, it sucks up and it just repeats this whole process over and over. There's probably a better way. Probably just doing it the crate way is the better way, but it's a hassle for me. You'll need a mechanical pump, fluid pipe into fluid tanks. Now you can expand your fluid tanks to be bigger, and then you'll need a pipe to go out. Now be sure to pay attention to these arrows, because sometimes when you're placing down the mechanical pump, your arrows might be facing the wrong way, and then you're thinking it's broken. But chances are you just don't have your arrows correct. And then it just automatically connects to the basin. And now we're saving so much more money just siphoning out the milk for this whole process right here. Alright guys, so this is the whole setup right here. Pretty simple. How it works is you'll need 4 deployers, and you can see yours is not going to look as pretty as this because the motors are just so great. But you can actually get down the line and get a normal type of motor, but not that one exactly. But the premise is you'll need 4 deployers, kind of 1 block away from the cake. You'll need this guy that's depositing the cake dough on the same layer, and then everything else 1 layer higher, affecting that block up top. And you want the filters. This one has that filter of cake dough. This one has the filter of the knife. This one has the rolling pin. Then that one has the mousse or the chocolate spread. And then on the barrels up top, again, you can hook this from your system into here to have this process all automated. But all you really want to do is have your other 3 super fast and this one being slow. So for instance, if you just stuck 1 water wheel on the chocolate spread guy, but then the other guys, you did like a whole cog thing to increase how fast the stress is. Because the problem is you want it to place the cake dough down, the knife to go down fast enough, and then the rolling pin before the chocolate happens. Because if he makes chocolate cake, well, chocolate cake's only worth 700 gold versus the cookies, which is, the 4,000, 300 or whatever it is, or 5,000 in there. And then I just have chutes underneath because one of these hands right here are going to be the ones that ends up breaking it, and it will collect it. And when it collects it, it will break the whole system. So that's why I have a chute underneath, so then it will just really quickly deposit or drop off those 4 cookies, because a hopper is too slow. Don't use a hopper. A chute, then it goes into a pipe, and then that pipe transfers it into this chute, into then this chute, and then all this into here. And while I was making the video, let's see how many we've had so far. We've made almost 5 million, which is crazy because that's the whole process, right? And that's why I said, like, this process will just get better and better the later down the line you are, because just imagine you have automatic, the whole system right there, all feeding into like a whole, a conveyor belt, like, line, whatever it is. But guys, that is the video. I think I explained it well enough. Obviously, it's not a perfect example because you're not really going to be using these creative motors. You would maybe have the void motor if you are further down the line. Again, I can't stand doing it, at least in this, right? But that is the process. And oh, here you go. You can see that it broke right there, and it made cakes now. So what we'll do is, this has to be maybe a little bit slower, or you just need to bump up those speeds once again, because again, I think you can get it up to like pretty fast. And again, once everything else is faster, that will be, but again, you don't want to cause lag. And I don't know how laggy this is, so. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I expect to see a bunch of cookies for sale. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless and goodbye.